Hi everyone! When you are preparing for the design sprint, you want to make sure that when you arrive on Monday, everything is ready and you don't have to worry about where are the stickers? Do I have enough pens? Does everyone has what to write on? No, you don't have to write, you don't have to worry about any of that because you're going to be prepared. So let's have a look on what you need to buy for the design sprint. Well, you can either have them or you may buy them, but I made it very easy for you and I made a list on Amazon that you can look into, and let's get started to see exactly what you need for the sprint. First of all, you will need the whiteboard. Let's have a look into this one. The best and easiest way to get a whiteboard is to find the room which already has whiteboards. Ideally, you should have at least two whiteboards in that room. If you don't find any room with whiteboards, don't worry, there is a solution for that. It's called Magic Chart. I will open it for you, and it has exactly the same function as the whiteboard, but it is a plastic paper which is electrostatic. That means that it stays on the wall and you can write with a whiteboard marker, and then you can erase it the same as as on the whiteboard. So that's a very good alternative in case you don't have whiteboards. And even though you have whiteboards, I always encourage you to get these papers just because you can have unlimited whiteboards. Basically, I can tell you that when I'm running the design sprint, I'm converting the entire room, all the four walls, into a big whiteboard. And in that way, it really helps me that I don't have to move the things around. I just can leave them where we do the certain session, and that gets anchored to people's mind. And afterwards, when they search for information, they know where to find it. They don't have to be, so where was that? How was it? You moved it, and we you don't want that. You really want to keep the things as you move around your workshop. You want that people make anchors in that room. So why these magic charts are really doing magic. So I would recommend that you take two of these. That should be more than enough. I usually make it with one, but it gets a bit hard because I'm trying to put the things together and take on a corner altogether the things that the team will not need later on. And it's kind of, I want to be environment friendly, so that's why I'm using just one of them. But no, go ahead, buy two just in case you want to be creative. Thing that you need is a time timer. Let me tell you about this time timer. Time timer is a great invention. It has been invented by a mom who tried to educate her child when it comes to time, and it was very hard to express what means time. And she drew this timer, it's called time timer, and basically you can see how the time goes. And if you have an exercise which is 15 minutes, you just slide it, you put 15 minutes, and the team can see how the 15 minutes are going, and at the end of the 15 minutes or any time that you said, it just does bling, 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 and everyone knows that the time is over and they have to move on. It's amazing. Trust me, that's miracle. I don't have one to show you here because every time I'm running a design sprint, basically the team just wants to keep it because they found it amazing. So if you do this as a business, well, considering in gifting the time timer because you are not going to live with it. Then let's see, the next element is a Sharpie. The Sharpies are amazing invention. They're basically, it's a permanent marker that dries very thin. The magic thing about it is that it is very, you can see it from far away. Like a normal traditional marker that you can write on, or just a normal pen is not going to be that visible from far away. And eventually you want that the team is just looking around and looks for the notes or for the things that happen, and they can read it. You don't want them to come close and think, so what was there, how was written? No, you want them to spot the information. A Sharpie is very good for that. If you don't find it, because sometimes it's very hard to find, you can go with any other thin marker. The idea is that they have to be able to write on a post-it, and they have to write some enough information, not just one word or few letters. So if it is too thick, they are not going to fill in too much information in a way that it is readable. So yeah, go for the Sharpies. So if you know exactly when you're going to have your workshop, I would recommend that the first thing you shop for is the Sharpie. Yeah. Once I ran out of them, and it was a bit hard. I got this effect that, so what is written there? And I can tell you that afterwards I made sure I have my Sharpies. Post-its, colorful. Uh, I like to use them. They are not in the book. They are not on the list of recommendations, but it's something that I learned I found them very useful, because when it comes to storyboarding, and when people come and they draw the ideas and they propose solutions, they just come and they stick things, and it gives more elements for the creativity. And then it's kind of encouraging people to go from black and white to colors, and that is very valuable, you will see it. Then another thing, then we have post-its blocks. On these post-it blocks, they are very crucial, because people are going to write on them, especially in the first days. So you want to make sure that you give them one block per person. So here I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you might want to order 2 of them. And that's just because you really want people to don't limit themselves when it comes to notes. And you want them to write one idea per sticky note, because afterwards what will happen is that we start to move them around, we start to reorganize them. And if they're together, it will be very hard. Anyways, you need to decouple them. So encourage people to use it. Order a lot, you should not run out of them. Then another thing that we have are the dots. The dots are green and red. Small reds, because they are very, very visible. So take the small reds and very big greens. That's because they have a mental exercise on how people see them. They are 490. I always order a lot of them, because I reuse them afterwards. So if I have a discount, then I just order more, and then I would use it for the next ones. But 490, there are more. There are several sheets of dots here. It's not just one. That should be enough. That should be enough for you. Red ones, the same. You have a lot more, so yeah, you may want to order 2 of them, but that should be more than enough to run your workshop. Then you will need, of course, whiteboard markers. The whiteboard markers are very, very important, because you're going to write a lot of things on the board, you're going to draw on the boards, and you should not do it with the Sharpie. That's very, very important. You have the Sharpies, and you also have the whiteboard markers. Make sure that you don't write with the Sharpies on the boards, because then it will be impossible to erase. Order 8 of them, that should be enough. So I put here 2 boxes of 4. 2 boxes of 4. Okay, that should be more than enough. Then we have White paper, you don't need 500 sheets of papers, but this is the only thing that I found. So if you already have some, I would say, yeah, like 100 should be more than enough for to run your workshop. Now, if you learn from your experience that it's not enough, of course, you can always supply for more. Maybe start with this one of 500, and then you learn as you go. Personally, I never use more than 100 per workshop. And the last thing is the masking tape. This masking tape, you can find it around the corner for $1. This is the one that I found on Amazon that is not very expensive. Some are like 50 euros. Eventually you don't want to spend that much because you can find it very cheap. This helps us to, it's white and it helps us to stick things on the wall very quickly and without disturbing us. The plastic one is a bit like it sticks much, it's not eco-friendly, and this one just goes faster and it's not that obvious. So these are the things that you need to have when you come to your workshop. Yeah, have them ready, come with it. I usually like to order them on Amazon. They give me a box and I'm putting everything in that box in a very organized manner. And in case I have to change rooms, because you don't always get one room for the entire week, then it's very, very easy for me to pack them there and move. Yeah, that's why I also recommend that you go for the magic charts, because in case you have to move rooms, it's easier to move the magic charts wrong than to move the entire whiteboards. And sometimes the whiteboards are fixed, so you cannot move them. Or sometimes if you have to change buildings, then I don't think so you can really take the whiteboard with you. So this is the list. I will make it available for you. And if you have any suggestions, any comments, looking forward to hear that.